What's up, guys? So I'm finally here with my review of Assassin's Creed 3. I think it's been about 2 days since I beat this game. This is going to be spoiler free. I do want to kind of talk about the ending, but I will separate that for those of you that haven't played the game and want to play the game. I'll just put like an annotation or something like that linking you to where I talk about the ending. First of all, I want to say that I did play Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2. I've never really talked about Assassin's Creed. A lot of people think that I don't like the series, but it's not that I don't like it. I absolutely love Assassin's Creed. I always thought it was a really fun game to play, but for some reason I never would buy them. I never would buy the games. I would always just rent them. I wanted to finally own them. I wanted to go back and play Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 because I didn't really remember that much about it. And I wanted to finally beat Brotherhood and Revelations because I got like maybe halfway through Brotherhood and I never beat it. And Revelations I just never played. So I did that, and I never went back to play 1 and 2 just because I was playing so many other games and I was like, there's no way I'm going to play through 1 and 2 again. I did go back and play Brotherhood though. I was able to put transfer my brother's profile onto my Xbox. I had played Brotherhood on his profile, and so I didn't have to restart it. I just played from there, and I did beat Brotherhood. And I didn't play Revelations, unfortunately. Like I said, I was playing a bunch of games. I did see all the cinematics for Revelations, so I pretty much know the storyline to this point. So nothing was really weird or like out of context when I was playing Assassin's Creed 3, which I think you should do. You should at least watch the cinematics or read up on it or something if you're not going to play it, just so that you're not lost, especially when it comes to the Desmond storyline and what's going on there and why they're doing this and what the Apple of Eden is and what the key is and who the hell is Juno and who the hell is Minerva and all them. And, you know, so, because it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it is a new storyline when it comes to the Animus. You're playing Connor and no longer Ezio or anything, or Altair, but it is good to know at least what's going on with Desmond and what has happened there. Every game has continued when it comes to that. So you might, I mean, they do kind of a good job about recapping little by little, but not a lot. So I thought, man, people really should read up on it, the past games, if you haven't played them, or at least watch the cinematics or something. They're not that long. So that's just a little bit of background when it comes to that, because I hadn't told you guys about that, and some of you were asking me if I had played the rest of the games and all that. This was one of my most anticipated games of this year. Assassin's Creed has always been extremely fun for me. The gameplay is just fun. In some games more than others, and for some reason I felt this game was a little less fluid. I found myself bumping into so many glitches, and glitches that would really make me want to break things. I actually broke my headphones. I just took them off and threw them, and they just fell apart. These were like really old headphones anyways. I was able to fix them because I really like them. I always like to wear the big ones, so these little ones I wear every now and then. A lot of times I did bump into glitches that actually cost me a few missions. I mean, sometimes people wouldn't finish their dialogue. Like, all of a sudden I'm in a mission and I'm talking to somebody, and then they just cut their dialogue and they don't continue what they were saying, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you didn't finish telling me what I was supposed to do. And then I go into the map, and it just has like a little area that's green, where, you know, those little circle areas, and it'll just be in an area where it's like, okay, I guess I have to go there. I guess that's what they said. So I go there, and nothing's there. Nothing is there. Like, I was looking all over the place and nothing was there for me to interact with. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, I even swam underwater and everything. I was like, what am I looking for? Nothing was there. I restarted the mission, and the person finally finished what they were saying. And then when I went in that green area, there was something like right there, right? As soon as you got in there was something there to interact with. So there was like little things like that, but then there was worse ones where, and I encountered this a lot of times, where they were just stupid glitches that would like cost you a mission. And like sometimes Connor would just freeze, Like he'd get stuck somewhere and you couldn't move, and then you get caught after you had done like all this stealth stuff and like trying to accomplish all of these optional objectives and all that. And I was like nearly there, and then I get the stupid glitch and I have to restart it, and it was so annoying, and I was just so mad at points. I mean, after a while I stopped caring about those optional objectives, because it was just getting to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't even care, I'm gonna kill all these bastards. Even though it said on objectives don't kill anybody, I'd be like, y'all gonna die now. The glitches weren't they were there. They weren't enough for me to say I'm not playing this game anymore. It's full of glitches. It wasn't full of glitches, just every now and then there were these annoying glitches that made you do the mission again after you had struggled so much to do it. So they were just really, really frustrating. But I kept playing. And then, but the whole, the fluidity of running around and like jumping and climbing and all that, sometimes you have to go fast, and sometimes it's like, come on, you know, let's do this, just get away from these fools. Sometimes Connor would do things that you were like, what the hell are you doing? Like one point I started yelling at my TV and my mom got scared. Like she was like, oh my God, did someone just come in? I was yelling at my TV. I was like, are you kidding me? She was like, I don't want you fighting with that game. I was like, Mom, you don't even know. And for some reason, I felt this more in this game than the other games. I mean, I never played Revelations, but with Brotherhood, I didn't feel this. I mean, compared to other games that are similar to this, like say Batman, this one was so, it wasn't even comparable. Batman was so well done. The combat was perfect. At least that's what I thought. I thought it was really fluid, and it was all about timing, and you knew exactly what you were gonna do with every press of the button. And oh my God, with this one, I nearly almost lost my thumb like half of the game. And I don't know if it was just me. I mean, maybe it was just me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get the hang of it. That's what I don't know. I was like, is it just me? Like, I even went back and I read the manual, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm pushing the right buttons. I was like, do I have it wrong? Am I pushing the wrong button? But I wasn't. I was pushing the right buttons. And I don't know if I had to, if it was all timing or what, but I mean, I'm used to Assassin's Creed games. I don't know why this was so different to me. I think the thing that I loved about this game, the reason why I kept playing it, why I wanted to know more about it, was I think the time period. I love the time period. Just being able to be a part of these historical events and meet these historical characters, and I don't know, just the time period. I absolutely loved it. If you're like this history buff or whatever, if you love history, this would probably be really interesting for you. It was for me. I love this, especially when you find yourself in like the Battle of Chesapeake Bay or the Battle of Bunker Hill, or you meet Lafayette, or you meet George Washington, and you meet Sam Adams. When I met Sam Adams, I thought it was really cool because I saw the movie Samuel Adams, and I love that movie. Another thing that I really liked about this game was the variety of things to do. There was so many things that you could do, and some of my favorites were the homestead missions. I love the homestead missions for some reason. I think I love them so much because it made you feel like you weren't just this assassin. Like it made you feel like you were trying to survive on this plot of land and keep these people safe, and like, you know, make this little community thrive and work and all that. And you got close to these people and you started to make friends, and it just felt real. Like it added another aspect to Assassin's Creed that hadn't been there. Kind of like you being more than just an assassin. It's like, I mean, Ezio had his family and all that, but this is more than just that. It's like creating a community and like keeping it safe and all that stuff, and just seeing it grow, which was pretty cool. Obviously, one of my favorite things was the naval missions. Being able to captain a ship out in the sea was so cool. Some missions could get kind of hard, but they were fun. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time with those missions, but I loved it. I love the naval stuff, and I think they made it fit pretty well. A lot of people worried about that, how they were gonna make it fit, and that like it didn't. It was like Connor was like this Indian or whatever, and this Native American. How are they gonna make him like captain of a ship? But I think they did it in a very good way to fit, you know, to make it fit. For those of you that haven't played the game, you start off. It's kind of like in Revelations. Revelations, you play two characters. You play Ezio, and you also play, or three, including Desmond. You also play as Altair. But in this one, you play as Haytham, who is, and I don't think this is a spoiler. I think this is part of like things that you read about Assassin's Creed. But Haytham is Connor's father. Haytham, you play like a good amount of the beginning. Not a lot, but just a little snippet of the beginning, like maybe, I don't know, 4 missions or something like that with Haytham. And I actually loved Haytham. I liked him so much. Like, off the bat, I was like, this guy is awesome. I really, really liked him. And I knew that you were going to play Haytham the whole time, because I was like, obviously, Connor is the main character. I mean, he's right there. So I was like, damn, it's going to suck when I'm not going to, when I'm going to stop playing as Haytham, because I really enjoyed his character. I like the older characters. I think that's why I really liked Ezio in Revelations, because he was older and more experienced. And you just feel like, you feel that experience, and you feel like you're not just this, you know, person that's starting off. So I liked that about Haytham. And I also liked his personality. He was a little more, I mean, compared to Connor, I had a problem with Connor. I didn't like Connor. I thought he was too stoic. I thought he was very monotone. I mean, I guess it kind of fits with the whole Native American thing and how they talk, and especially when it's translated into like English. I thought he was so bland. He was just like, especially when compared to like previous Assassin's Creed characters like Ezio. Oh my God, like Connor didn't even get this close to Ezio. Ezio had personality, he had charisma, he was funny, he could be serious when he needed to be. He was awesome. He wouldn't sell himself for some reason. Like, that's how I felt. Like, he wouldn't sell himself to me. Like, he had a pretty interesting past and all that, but he was just, I don't know. I didn't like Connor. But like I said, I liked Haytham better. Like, I was like, man, if I had played Haytham, if you could choose, I would totally play the game with Haytham. And there's a twist with Haytham, which I really liked. The hunting was cool. I like that too. It's a completely different time period, a completely different character for the Animus. There's so much variety in it that it's just like, how is it even gonna feel like an Assassin's Creed game? But it does. It does. It still feels like an Assassin's Creed game. I was like, wow. They were able to maintain that familiarity in the game, which I give props, because for them to have changed so much and added so much, it still feels like an Assassin's Creed game, just kind of upgraded. Not so much when it comes to the graphics. I feel like the previous Assassin's Creed games looked better than this one. This one had so many problems with lip syncing. I mean, sometimes, literally, it has been a long time since I've seen such bad lip syncing. Nobody would be saying anything, and the character would be going, and I was like, what? For some reason, they suffered more than in previous games. I remember Assassin's Creed being one of the most beautiful games I had ever seen. The first game. The environments, like every time you would go up and do that eagle vision, or not eagle vision, but when you synchronize the map, I remember just like being in awe. I'd be like, oh my God, this looks gorgeous. It looks so good. But this game was they for some reason they took it down. Some characters did have pretty good facial expressions, especially Haytham. I felt like Haytham had some pretty authentic and like unique facial expressions, especially when it came to like how he moved his mouth and all that. I was like, oh, they gave him some kind of uniqueness to him. Others, it was really, really bad, where it was like, oh my God. Like, sometimes I would see a character, his cape would be going through his head, and it would be like on the other side, and all of a sudden his cape would disappear on this side, and it was going through his head, and his cape was like, I don't know. I mean, that's I'm playing the Xbox 360 one, obviously, so I don't know. I don't know how it is with the other the other versions of the game. The environments, when you would do the synchronization, they were kind of choppy, they were kind of blocky in the distance. And I think, for some reason, I think it was because of the whole 3D aspect that they added. I could be wrong, but I don't know. There was some parts that did look good. There was some, like the water in the ocean looked really cool. It looked really good. The whole naval battles, like when you're on the ship, looked really cool. But other than that, like facial expressions and conversations, lip syncing was horrible. Sometimes it was okay. Sometimes it was bad. It was like really, really bad. But yeah. If you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, definitely play it, because it does continue the story, and especially when it comes to Desmond, it kind of pushes it to a... I mean, I don't think this is the end of Assassin's Creed, but when it comes to the whole Desmond storyline, it does kind of conclude it. At least that's what I think. I think it did. I mean, some people said that they didn't encounter any glitches, which is so cool. Like, props to you guys for not encountering any glitches, but a lot of my problems were glitches, and just me not feeling the fluidity that should have been there. I just didn't feel it, and it just made it a lot of parts frustrating, and to the point where I stopped caring about the optional objectives. I mean, I started off like wanting to do them all. I was like, man, I want 100% synchronization of this memory, until I finally hit the point where I was like, forget this, dude. I was so frustrated that I just didn't even care after that. Every now and then, I mean, I would get optional objectives every now and then, but I wasn't like making a big, huge deal about it. If I didn't, I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna do it again, because some things were kind of hard, and some of them were like, it was a long mission where you had to do a bunch of stuff, and you couldn't get seen, you couldn't kill anybody, and you couldn't, like, I don't know, do something else or something like that, and it was just too many things that you had to do. And when you encountered like glitches, or when you encountered a fight scene or something like that just wasn't fluid, that you didn't feel was fluid, at least I didn't feel it, I was just like, it was a struggle at some points where I was like, oh my god, I just want to beat this game already. But it was enjoyable. Every Assassin's Creed game is enjoyable, at least that's how I feel. I feel that they're fun and all that. I'm glad I played it. It didn't meet my expectations at all. I don't know, the previous Assassin's Creed games felt, at least when it came into the gameplay, they felt more fluid, and for some reason I thought that they were going to improve on that, but they didn't. Well, that could just be personal experience though. So I would say at least rent it. If you're really if you're really interested, if you're like, man, I really want to try it, rent it first and then try it, because I really don't know. This could all just be personal experience. So that's why I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Should I tell people to buy it? Should I tell people to play it? If you are an Assassin's Creed fan, you definitely should play it. But for everybody else that's just interested in it because it looks cool, I would say rent it first and maybe play a little bit. If you really like it, buy it, because you know, it is fun. I'm not gonna like take it back or anything like that. I'm gonna keep it. I didn't get full synchronization, so I'm gonna go back and like do that every now and then. I'm not like, damn it, I shouldn't have wasted my money on it. No, I had fun with it, and I just love the time period, and I wanted to know more about the story anyways, so it was worth it for me. Especially if you're into playing multiplayer, it would be a good buy, because that way you could play more of it. There's a lot to do in the single player, so it's worth it, I think, to buy it, just because there's a lot to do in the single player. And then for those of you that play multiplayer, it has a multiplayer. So I've never played any of the multiplayers of Assassin's Creed, so I wouldn't know about that. For those of you that want to know what I think about the ending and all that, click somewhere around here. I'll put an annotation. And for those of you that can't see annotations on YouTube, then I'll have the link in the description to the video where I talk about the ending. So that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later.